Did you know that every single day, over 100,000 flights take off around the globe, carrying millions of dreamers to destinations they've only imagined? And here's the wild part. You could be on one of those planes tomorrow, heading somewhere that will completely change your perspective on life. Today, we're diving into the incredible world of air travel and exploring some of the most mind-blowing destinations you can reach with just a boarding pass and a sense of adventure. Picture this moment. You're sitting in that cramped airplane seat, watching the ground disappear beneath you as the engines roar to life. That feeling in your stomach as the plane lifts off isn't just gravity. It's pure possibility. You're literally defying nature, soaring through the clouds toward places that exist in completely different time zones, cultures, and realities. It's almost like that classic song says, "Fly me to the moon." Except we're heading to places that are just as extraordinary right here on Earth. Let's start with destinations that feel like stepping into another universe entirely. Take Iceland's Blue Lagoon, where you can soak in geothermal waters while snow falls around you, creating a surreal contrast that your brain struggles to process. The flight there takes you over the dramatic North Atlantic, and when you land in Reykjavik, you're entering a world where the northern lights dance across winter skies like nature's own laser show. The entire country feels like an alien landscape, with black sand beaches meeting massive glaciers and volcanic fields stretching toward infinity. But maybe you're craving something completely different. What about those overnight flights to Tokyo that land you in a neon-lit metropolis where ancient temples sit peacefully between towering skyscrapers? The sensory overload hits you the moment you step off that plane. The sounds, the smells, the incredible energy of a city that never truly sleeps. You can eat ramen at 3 in the morning in a tiny restaurant that seats only 8 people, then watch the sunrise from the top of Mount Fuji just hours later. Here's where air travel gets really exciting. The connections and layovers that create unexpected adventures. That 6-hour layover in Dubai suddenly becomes an opportunity to see the world's tallest building. Or that connection through Singapore lets you experience the most beautiful airport on the planet, complete with a waterfall and butterfly garden. Sometimes the journey itself becomes the destination. The psychology of flying to distant places does something incredible to your brain. When you're 30,000 feet above the Pacific Ocean, staring down at endless blue water, your problems suddenly seem microscopic. That work stress that felt overwhelming last Tuesday, it's literally miles beneath you now. There's something profoundly therapeutic about physically removing yourself from your normal environment and placing yourself in a metal tube, hurtling through space towards somewhere completely unknown. Consider the transformative power of landing in a place where you don't speak the language. That moment when you realize you have to communicate through gestures and smiles. When ordering food becomes an adventure and asking for directions turns into an elaborate game of charades. These experiences reshape how you see communication and human connection. You discover that kindness translates across every language barrier. The overnight flight experience deserves its own category of appreciation. There's something magical about falling asleep over one continent and waking up over another. You close your eyes somewhere above Greenland and open them to see the sun rising over the European countryside. Time zones become meaningless, and you exist in this strange liminal space between yesterday and tomorrow. The airplane becomes your temporary home, complete with that weird airplane food that somehow tastes better when you're excited about your destination. Let's talk about those bucket list destinations that require serious flight commitment. Easter Island sits in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from the nearest continent, accessible only by planes that feel like they're flying into the void. But when you land and see those mysterious stone statues standing guard over the landscape, you understand why the journey was necessary. Some places can only be reached by surrendering to the sky. The window seat perspective offers its own form of entertainment and enlightenment. Flying over the Sahara Desert reveals patterns in the sand that look like alien artwork. Crossing the Rocky Mountains shows you geological formations that took millions of years to create, now visible in their entirety during your 3-hour flight. The Amazon rainforest stretches endlessly below like a green carpet hiding countless secrets. These aerial views provide context that ground-level travel simply cannot match. Airport culture itself has evolved into its own fascinating ecosystem. Every major airport tells the story of its city and country. The efficiency of German airports, the organized chaos of Indian terminals, the luxury of Middle Eastern hubs, each one prepares you for the cultural experience waiting outside those arrival doors. You start absorbing the local energy before you even collect your luggage. The economics of modern air travel have democratized exploration in unprecedented ways. Budget airlines have made it possible to fly across continents for less than what previous generations spent on train tickets to the next state. Error fares and flash sales can suddenly make that dream trip to Patagonia financially achievable. The key is staying flexible with dates and destinations, letting opportunities guide your adventures rather than rigid planning. Night flights over major cities create urban light shows that rival any entertainment. Flying into Las Vegas after dark transforms the desert into a glittering oasis. Approaching Hong Kong reveals layers of illuminated skyscrapers climbing up mountainsides like a three-dimensional constellation. These views from above remind you that humans have created some pretty incredible things down there on the ground. The social dynamics of long-haul flights create temporary communities. That person sitting next to you for 12 hours might become your travel companion for the next week, or share a story that changes your entire perspective on your destination. Flight delays turn into unexpected bonding experiences with strangers who become temporary allies in your shared adventure. Recovery from jet lag becomes part of the travel experience itself. That strange disorientation when your body insists it's 3 in the morning while the sun blazes overhead forces you to live completely in the present moment. You experience time in a completely different way, more conscious of how artificial our normal schedules really are. The moment you finally reach your destination and step off that plane creates an instant before and after in your life story. The air smells different, the light looks different, even gravity seems to pull at you differently. You've successfully transported yourself across space and time using nothing but human ingenuity and jet fuel. Every flight represents a small miracle of engineering, logistics, and human cooperation. Hundreds of people working together to lift you safely above the clouds and deliver you to whatever adventure awaits. The next time you're booking that ticket to somewhere incredible, remember that you're not just buying transportation. You're purchasing a temporary membership in one of humanity's greatest achievements. So start planning that next flight, because somewhere out there is a destination that's waiting to change everything you think you know about the world and yourself.